Show, the spoiler-free book review show that is broadcast live each day at 2:17 a.m. Standard Eastern Pacific Time. So today we're going to talk about an infamous movie that came from a really good book called The Postman. This is a David Brin book, and those of y'all who might be big-time science fiction fans / nerds probably know who David Brin is. Great writer. He's written a lot of other stuff that I'll cover on the show that I really enjoyed. The Postman, the movie, which I'll never going to do a movie thing about that, I doubt, unless I'm super desperate. The movie left such a sour taste in everybody's mouth, I guess, that no one ever talks about the book anymore. But it's really unfortunate because it's a unique post-apocalyptic kind of survival adventure book. It's cool, basically. It's good. For a long time, I avoided reading it. And it kept coming up in these lists of, best sci-fi books of the past 10 years or 2 decades or whatever. And I was like, I know, that's that dumb movie with Kevin Costner where he's like a postman, there's the post-apocalypse. That sounds really stupid. And so I just avoided it basically for a long time. As often is the case, I eventually figured out that I was wrong. And I was like, I keep hearing such good stuff about this book. Okay. I'll give it a shot. Why not? So, started into it. Book starts off good immediately and then just gets better and better as it goes. Has some truly surprising twists in there too, stuff I was not expecting to be in the book. The idea of the whole postman thing ties into our characters and our themes. The postman in the book, he is not a real postman. Of course, this is like after the actual apocalypse. The world is a total mess. The U.S. is a mess. But the themes there about him bringing hope to people, just as something as simple as delivering the mail, returning people to that sense of normalcy, giving them hope that there is an institution, a government, a structure, something like that of society. Society is coming back. Civilization is coming back. That's the important thing. But then that would tie into the theme of the dangers of false hope, giving false hope to people. Like, is that justified? Is that okay? Are white lies okay if it has a good outcome? That kind of idea. As far as writing goes, pretty much like everything David Brin writes, it's complex, but it has good characterization, good, I would say really good actually, world building, some nice action scenes in there, and it leads up nicely to the action scenes. So when the action happens, which this isn't an action-filled book, it's actually very careful about that. But when the action in his books do happen, it feels very earned, and the payoff for whatever happens in the action scene feels really organic. It feels natural. It feels like you get that kind of fist pumpy feeling in the book where your character you like does something cool, but it's not unrealistic. It's not it's not the Arya Stark dropping the knife thing where it's like, yeah, that's really cool, I guess. Whatever, not earned at all, and just anyway, I could talk forever about that junk. But this book, though, everything feels earned. Everything, the character motivations, the character actions, all fit with them. Nobody really does something out of character. Even really frustrating parts where you want the main character to be a little bit more heroic, but he's not, because he's grown up in a post-apocalyptic world, and you got to survive first. You don't just go running off like you're the big hero and stuff. That's how you get killed. And so it's a very interesting book in that way. Don't let the movie tie-in spoil it for you or sour you on it. I usually do not like to get books that have the movie covers. This had a different cover off of Amazon because this is another book I had to re-buy because I read this when I was traveling, and whenever I read books when I travel, I leave the book somewhere with a little message inside telling somebody else it's a free book, please enjoy it. It also lightens up my pack. But this one, not that I dislike Kevin Costner, he's great, but I wish I had just the original cover to the book. But still, if you're into sci-fi, if you like post-apocalyptic stuff, I think a whole bunch of people now these days like the Fallout game series. The Fallout games feel very inspired by this book in a lot of ways. I do recommend this book. Not my highest recommendation, but if you want a good science fiction, adventure, post-apocalyptic book with some neat twists, there you go. Enjoy. It's good. Here at the end of the show, just real quick, typical YouTube stuff, whatever. Book I'm kind of rereading right now, just off and on, every so often. I wanted to get back into the Dictionary of Imaginary Places. I'll do a review on this someday. It's a strange book to do a review on because it's not a typical story, but boy is it neat. So I'll do a review on that someday. And then also, as far as like when I'm wearing any stories behind that, so I got my legendary Wyoming hat on. I've been to Wyoming a bunch. It is one of my favorite states. It's right up there. I don't know, either Wyoming or Utah is my favorite state in America to visit. I haven't been to Alaska yet, so I can't judge. But, you know, we'll see. Someday. Maybe this summer I'll go to Alaska. But Wyoming is absolutely incredible if you've never been able to get out there. Of course, you got Yellowstone, but you got a whole bunch of other stuff out there too. It is wonderful. I'm really thinking about moving there someday. Hopefully the good people of Wyoming will welcome me. Them and the cows and the wild horses and everything else. So totally fantastic. I've been out there on multiple trips with a special person. We explored abandoned towns. We went to Yellowstone, saw the stars out at Devil's Tower. We saw wild horses, you know, running in the fields. We drove through, you know, canyons and almost deserts and saw bears and bison. Just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely lovely. So go visit Wyoming. If you want to hear about or see about more travel stuff, I do have a travel channel where I just upload random travel videos whenever I feel like it from all over the world. And then I also do there's also a movie channel if you're into that stuff. So anyway, hopefully I inspired some people to give The Postman a chance. It is a good book. If you like that stuff, you should read it. If you have not gotten into David Brin, you should get into him. He's good. As always, hope everybody's doing okay, taking care of yourselves, reading lots of good books, enjoying it, and just, you know, being reminded about the joys of reading. And I will see you all again for the next book review. Take care.